watching Good Day Tampa Bay, and the news starts now.
What started out as a hoax ended in deadly gunfire. Tyler Barris, a Los Angeles man, claimed that he was holding his family hostage at gunpoint. And when a SWAT team responded to the Kansas address, an unarmed man answered the door. That man, Andrew Finch, a father, was shot and killed. Police say Barris made the whole thing up and was actually calling from more than 1,000 miles away in Los Angeles. Police say Barris made 20 other similar calls and was in fact arrested in 2015 for making a false bomb threat. And now he is facing new felony charges of making a false alarm. And yesterday learned that he will be extradited to Kansas to face charges there. And this dangerous hoax is something called swatting. And joining me now to talk about this is Hunter Chamberlin, to talk about the legal repercussions. And good morning to you, Hunter. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me on.
I want to talk about Florida law and what that says about swatting. But let's talk about this case in particular. You know, the family is, filing this grievance against the police department, saying that there was an excessive use of force. But also, the suspect and his legal team are arguing that he's not responsible for murder because he didn't pull the trigger. So is that a legal argument? Is that justifiable?
Not sure about Kansas law. In Florida, that would not be an availing argument. It would be a defense to first-degree murder because it wasn't a premeditated murder. It wasn't, he didn't have the intent to have this person killed. So not first-degree murder, but it could be second-degree murder, which is committing an act that is so that disregards human life so capriciously,
right.
And in the course of that act someone dies. That would be second-degree murder, or some sort of manslaughter where you didn't intend to bring about a death, but a death occurred anyway because of your negligence. So second or third-degree murder potentially, but not first-degree murder.
Okay. Well, then let's stay with Florida law and talk about had this man not died, had the swatting call only been made, and the SWAT team arrived, would there be a charge for that?
Yes, there probably would be. Florida doesn't have a law specifically addressing swatting, which is calling a 911 in a hoax and getting the SWAT team to go to somebody else's address under false pretenses, hence the term swatting.
Right.
So Florida doesn't have a statute that specifically addresses that, but it does have a statute, 790.163, which is false report of a bomb, false report of gunfire, things like that, that would be a second-degree felony that could be used in a situation like this.
Is it common for a suspect to be extradited to a case? I mean, I knew this case is really infuriating the nation, and so extradition, what is that going to do for the case?
Well, the theory as to why he's being extradited is because even though he is in Los Angeles, California, he was calling the 911 operators in Kansas, okay. And therefore the theory is that the crime occurred in Kansas, and therefore that's why Kansas has jurisdiction over this crime.
Yeah, I mean, do you think that swatting maybe should be addressed specifically now in light of this case?
Well, interestingly, both in Florida and more specifically the federal, the House of Representatives, the federal House, has tried to address this. There was a House bill, the interstate hoaxing, swatting bill, that didn't make it out of the House, but I think this is something that both on a state and given the interstate nature of these types of crimes, that the federal government will probably take up again very soon.
I just have to ask you before we go to, let's talk about the culpability of the police department and the use of force there.
Sure. Well, put yourself in the place of the SWAT members that are under a belief that somebody is holding somebody hostage at gunpoint. They are led to believe and given credible information that there's a violent crime being committed. They, of course, have to take appropriate measures to protect themselves. And how are they to know that this is a swatting incident as opposed to an actual incident?
Right.
Now, there have been, according to the FBI, about 400 of these a year, these swatting instances. So maybe it should be something that they should be a little bit more cognizant of. But I don't see in this particular case that the police did anything improperly.
Just sadly enough, it ended in his death. All right, let's leave it there. Hunter Chamberlin, thanks for being with us.
Thank you very much.
All right, Walter, we'll get back over to you.
All right, guys, thank you.